welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a super quick tutorial on this look that I'm wearing right now. I used the KathleenLights eyeshadow palette from Morphe to do this look. So this palette right here, I used this. I kind of forgot it was limited edition and I was like, oh, maybe I should have used something else, but if you are looking to recreate this look, then, you know, I'm sure you can find similar shades in your collection, hopefully. And if not, I think she said she was trying to get this to come back in stock. So I just wanted to create a look with this palette because it's so beautiful. I love it so much. Really glad that I got my hands on it. And if you guys have another opportunity to snag one of these, do it. I mean, I don't think it's that different of a palette than anything else that's out there, really, but it does have some really beautiful shades in it, and I think it's a really great addition to anyone's makeup collection. So I used that, and then I was just using some other products that are a little bit newer to me. You'll see in the video, I guess.
Alright guys, so I'm going to start off by combing through my brows really quickly, and then I'm going to use the Benefit Ka-Brow to just outline kind of where I want my brow shape to be. And I'm going to kind of overline on one of these eyebrows, so if it looks a little weird, I did it on purpose, but I kind of overdid it a little bit. You guys will see in a minute. Right here, I'm just going to overline my brows basically. And I'm going to go in and fill them in, and that's just because there was a little sparse area going on right there, so I'm trying to fix it. But yeah, this is just how I fill in my brows lately, and yeah. So then I'm going to go with my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 15, and I'm just going to be using this to kind of carve out my brows, which I've been doing a lot lately, and I really, really like it. I think it just gives such a good, like, crisp look to the brows. And now I'm taking my clear brow gel from Anastasia, and I'm just going to set my brows with that so they don't go anywhere. Now I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes with my Urban Decay primer potion. This is a really, really old one, but I just kind of wanted to use it up. And now I'm going to use this Laura Mercier shadow. I don't really remember what it was called, but it was in the shade Wheat. And I'm using that as an eye base. I think it was supposed to be an eye base, not an eyeshadow, and I didn't really like it. You guys will see later on that it doesn't really help me to blend my eyeshadows very well. But now I'm going to be taking this eyeshadow just to set that base, and then we're going to go ahead and start on the eyes. So I'm just taking that kind of light brown transition shade from the Morphe and KathleenLights palette, and I'm just going to be placing that in the crease. Okay, now I'm taking this kind of more poop brown color and placing that into the crease as well to kind of warm it up a little bit more, and just kind of get a little bit darker of a transition shade in there as well. And I'm just really going in there and making sure that everything is blended out really well so there's no harsh lines. And then for the lid, we are taking this kind of purple, not quite purple, I'm not really sure what to call this color, but just taking that and putting it all over the lid. And then I'm going to go in with that dark green color, and I'm going to kind of do a halo eye almost, and just placing it on the outer and the inner corner of the eye. And yeah, I'm just going to keep building up this color until I get what I want. And I'm going to blend out along the way just to avoid harsh lines. But there I go again, just building up that color until it's the intensity that I want it to be. Now I'm taking that darker kind of cool brown shade and I am just going in again with that on the outer V to really deepen it up. And I'm going to again I'm going to blend out my crease just to make sure, again, we don't want any harsh lines with this look. So I'm taking that green again, and I'm just going to kind of build it back up in the inner corner, as well as with the kind of purpley shade in the middle, just because when you blend, it kind of gets rid of some of that color. So we're just gonna kind of replace what was blended away, and I guess it wasn't deep enough, so I went ahead and deepened up that outer V again. And now I'm going to take some Fix Plus, and I'm going to go back in with that middle shade just to really get it to pop. It wasn't quite it wasn't quite metallic enough on its own. It wasn't shimmery enough on its own, so I went ahead and did that. And then I'm going to go ahead and tightline with this eyeliner from, I think it's Ducey Cosmetics, but that sounds really stupid, so I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. And I'm just tightlining my eyes. It looks really scary, but that's how I do it. And now I'm taking my makeup wipe, and I am just taking it along the outer corner and kind of creating more of a cat eye almost. And then using that as kind of an outline, I'm going to just create a wing. And I get really close to the mirror when I do this, so that's why I'm like almost out of frame. And I couldn't really show you guys all of how I did my winged liner because it kind of just got out of frame. And yeah, so sorry about that, guys. So now I'm going to take my NYX Angel Veil Primer as well as my Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I'm going to mix those two together and just use that as my primer. Like you guys see right here, I'm just putting that all over my face. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and take my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and you're going to see me in a minute be dotting that all over my face, and then I will be blending it out with a beauty blender. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the color Chantilly, I think. I probably said that wrong. And I'm just going to apply this to the usual places, under the eyes, on my forehead, down my nose, Cupid's bow, and chin. And then I'm also going to be taking it along my jawline just to kind of create a little bit more of a defined jaw, as you guys will see in a minute. And then I'm going to be blending that out again with my beauty blender, and I'm actually going to set my under eye before I blend out the rest of it, just because I feel like the NARS Creamy Concealer is just really thick and it takes a while to blend out, and so I want to make sure that I'm setting that before moving on to blending out the rest of it, just so that I don't get any creasing. So I'm going to be using the IT Bye Bye Pores Pressed Powder in Translucent, and as you guys can see, I'm just running that along my under eye just to make sure that I'm not creasing. And then after that's done, I'm going to go back in with my beauty blender, blend everything out, and I will be setting it with the same pressed powder. I'm going to be taking this NYX Cheek Contour Duo, and I'm going to be taking that contour shade from it. I forget what this specific one is called, but I will leave it down below in the description box. All of my products that I use will be listed down below like usual, but I'm just taking this and obviously just contouring with it, nothing special here. And then I'm taking that big fluffy brush just to kind of blend it out so it's not so harsh. Now I'm going to go in with the Tarte Color Wheel, which has 10 blushes in it. I'm absolutely obsessed with this palette, but I'm taking the color Iconic and I'm using that as my blush, obviously. And I'm just placing that kind of right above where I did my cheek contour. And then again, I'm going to take that fluffy brush from Real Techniques and blend everything together. So now I am taking my Anastasia Ultimate Glow palette and I'm actually mixing the colors Snow and White Sand together. And I'm using it at first with this fan brush, and it just wasn't really giving me enough glow, so I switched to another fan brush, which kind of made it a very subtle glow, but I kind of like more of an intense highlight, so I ended up switching back to my usual highlighting brush, which I believe is from Sigma. You guys will see here in a minute. I just could not get these fans to build up the color enough, so I went back in with this brush right here, and just to give it a little bit more intensity, and yeah. So now I am going and putting that black eyeliner in my waterline. It's the same black liner from before, and then I'm taking that kind of cooler brown color and running that along my waterline. And I'm using that really small detail brush right now, and I'm going to go in with a slightly fluffier, larger brush to kind of blend it out a little bit, almost not really smudge it out, but just blend it out a little bit so it's not quite so harsh. But I honestly do wish I had added just a little bit more and blended it out a little bit more, kind of smudged it out along that lower lash line. So now I'm going to curl my lashes, and then I'm going to go put mascara on them. I'm using the Rimmel Wonder Lash mascara, and after that is done, I think we're going to put falsies on, but I'm not sure. So now we're gonna go put on some falsies. I am using the Ardell Wispies in the number 600, I believe. I've found that these are very, very, very similar to the Salon Perfect 615s. So if you've been looking for those, you might want to try these ones out because I think they're easier to find. And for my lips, I'm going to be taking the Buxom lip crayon in the color Sydney. I don't think lip crayon is the exact name for it, but I will leave that linked down below. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to be taking the Buxom Full On Lip Cream in the color White Russian, and I'm just going to be layering that on top. And yeah, I think that completes this look. But I'm pretty sure I'm about to add some more highlight because it just wasn't popping enough. But we're going to take care of that in a minute. But yeah, that's it for this look, you guys. I will see you in my next one. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this. And yeah, bye guys.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do,